Hello, I'm Allison Seymour. Welcome to The Color of STEM, or Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Our mission here is to produce and promote content that inspires and encourages people of color and other underrepresented minorities to pursue STEM careers. It is the future for all of us. The West Coast was the Color of STEM's latest destination, where San Francisco and the Bay Area is becoming the world's leading tech paradise for hundreds of IT companies, and they're calling this area home. That and more when we return.
The Color of STEM is powered by iSTEM, cultivating ideas into solutions, the Emerging Technology Consortium, and the ARL Network. The Color of STEM is more than television. It's a movement.
Well, hold up, I'm off Newton. I'm on Einstein. I like Einstein because Einstein's mind is like mine. His formula was E equals MC squared, which is weird because me is your favorite MC squared. Yeah. Right, so that's regular bars, but that's Newton's laws of motion in a nutshell.
Like us on Facebook. For more information on The Color of STEM, go to our website, www.thecolorofstem.com.
Coming to the College of Engineering has given me the great opportunity to work with foreign exchange students from Brazil, from Nigeria, and really exposed me to what a real-world industry experience would be, working with people from all the way around the world.
Classroom size here, it really gives for an inviting and warm, almost family-like environment here.
I've been able to complete 2 different internship experiences here at the College of Engineering.
This college has prepared me a lot for my career with the material, with the engineering material, as well as, being able to work with, the different groups of people and help us to be able to work as a team.
Amber Smith, Industrial Engineering.
It's Nolan Topi, and I'm an electrical engineer.
My name is Lauren Griffith, and I'm in Chemical Biomedical Engineering.
Enrique Echeverria, and I'm a civil engineering student at the College of Engineering.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. Here is one of the programs that's making a difference and changing lives.
Black Girls Code and founder Kimberly Bryant's vision is to increase the number of women of color in the digital space by empowering girls of color, ages 7 to 17, to become innovators in STEM fields, leaders in their communities, and builders in their own futures through exposure to computer science and technology. She shares her mission and goals with the Color of STEM team during our trip to the Bay Area.
Black Girls Code, our mission is really to introduce young women, young ladies, girls of color to the tech industry and the tech marketplace. It really started with this goal that I had to find a place or spot for my daughter, who was just 7 at that time, to kind of really find her tribe, so to speak, or find other young women like herself that were interested in technology, and to find a home, a community for her to feel comfortable and learning it in an atmosphere that would be conducive to that and be supportive. And it really didn't exist 5 years ago. So as I looked at the marketplace for organizations similar to Black Girls Code with a focus on girls of color, it just didn't exist. So my goal 5 years ago was to create it, and to create an organization which I thought at that time would be local, that would help these girls to not only learn about technology, but to really develop these tangible skills. And it grew so much more from that into an international organization and even a movement that's really bringing women of color to the forefront as innovators in the field. I think one of the things that we find is that they understand that it's not only just creating this page, this web page. It's about mapping out a problem and solving it step by step by step. So like if you look at some of the pictures from these hackathons and these big events that we've done with the girls, most of the time before they even start to code anything on the computer, we have them draw out the problem and step by step talk about how they're going to get to the solution. And I think that process really ingrains it for them that you know, part of what we're teaching them is not just the technology part of it, but how to solve problems that they can then use in other facets of their lives. I think for Black Girls Code, we see our work as part of a village. So that whole village mentality of like, we are doing our part, but the teachers have a part to do, the parents have a part to do, the greater community have a part to do to make sure that our girls are successful. So we feel that it's important for us to give the parents that skills and knowledge of like, what are the opportunities for their girls in this industry? What things should they learn beyond what they learned in this class today? And I think for us, it's been gratifying to see how our parents have responded to that. When we do these panels for parents and these events for parents, you know, time after time and city after city, we have parents that weep and say that, you know, no one has ever told them these things before. No one has given them this information. And for us, that's really a deep thing to tape in, that no one feels that just because this mother is on public assistance that she doesn't care about her child. That's not true. Those parents are the ones that are most adamant about making sure that their girls get an opportunity to rise beyond. So I think that is what keeps us going, like there's not a dry eye in the room at that point, because, you know, really kind of puts together all the work that we're doing and makes it clear why it's important. There's not going to be a field that doesn't have some type of technology or engineering to make it tick. There's not one that I can think of. And so I think that is the reason that everyone should have some type of knowledge of coding, even if they don't go into the field, but you need it to survive. And I think that's where the work of everyone, you know, from filmmakers to educators to teachers, comes into play, into making sure that this next generation and even the current generation understands that this is just like a skill that you have to learn, like reading and writing and mathematics. Everybody needs to know a little bit, or we're going to be left behind the curve.
We'll be back in a moment.
Florida Memorial University's mission is to train global citizens through lifelong learning opportunities.
Florida Memorial in itself is a gem. I think that we've come on through a path of struggle, and that's something that we pride ourselves on.
I think the motto that we live by, which is leadership, character, and service, is one thing that I'm going to take with me throughout my matriculation of the rest of my life.
One thing I'll never forget that I've learned here is to persevere and to be diligent about what I've set my mind out to do.
We are proud of our long tradition and look forward to a future filled with promise for our students, our staff, our faculty, and our alums.
I could have sent my children to any school around the country, but we chose Texas Southern because they were interested in educating these children.
Any field that you leave Texas Southern with a degree in that you decide to pursue, you're not there because, you know, it's sympathetic. You're there because you're one of the best.
I'm Michael Strahan, and I am Texas Southern University.
Like us on Facebook. STEM comes in all colors.
Welcome back to the multifaceted world of STEM.
The College of Engineering at Georgia Tech offers a summer residential engineering program, which focuses on minority students in 11th and 12th grades from across the nation. The program provides students with a real-world engineering experience that prepares them for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow.
Since 2008 at Georgia Tech, we've been conducting the Summer Engineering Institute, and that is a 3-week residential program. It's for rising 11th and 12th graders in high school. The reason that we're doing it is because we realize the need for underrepresented students in STEM fields, and so what better way than to prepare a pipeline of students that will continue on and move into engineering, study these things, and we're trying to engineer the future. And so the way we're trying to do that is by touching lives through engineering. one life at a time, one contact at a time. But we also know that it's important to continue to have multiple points of contact and to then make sure that the possibilities are endless for them, that they know that the possibilities for them are endless, and that there's nothing they can't do if they would just try or even know about it, because some kids don't even know about it. So with that, here at Georgia Tech, we are the only residential program for high school students that is housed at Georgia Tech by a department at Georgia Tech. So there are other people that you would see on campus, but none of them are sponsored by the College of Engineering here. As a Summer Engineering Institute participant, we have students from all over the United States, outside Puerto Rico, Arizona, New York, different places like that. And so you will come in for 3 weeks and we take you from zero to engineer. You come in not knowing anything, not having any clue, just thinking you're just here for 3 weeks. A lot of them just don't want to be at home, and a lot of times the parents will make their children come. You are given a real world project that you have to design something and build, and you have to solve. So if you're a participant in our program, we hope that you will not only learn that everything is possible for you, but that you will learn something about yourself, about the environment, about engineering, about college. And then that at the end of the 3 weeks, you'll just come out being a little bit better and different. We have just the most wonderful dean of the College of Engineering, who is also a Georgia Tech graduate, and he really, really supports everything that we do within the program. And also our director, Dr. Felicia Benton Johnson, our staff, Dr. Tia Jackson Truitt, Valentina De La Fey that you met, and then my right hand for Summer Engineering Institute, Mr. Cedric Trice, and then Cedric Sallworth. We all work together because we recognize that our future is what we are trying to save. So Georgia Tech, so with the dean being on board and him being so supportive, then that gives us the latitude, and we have lots of corporate sponsors. So let me just make sure I say that, because with that and with the College of Engineering and these partnerships, when we say we partner, we truly partner with the corporations, with the families of the students that we impact. And so since we're here and we're all working together, it makes it a little bit easier for us to just do that. So because we've had some success, then Georgia Tech shines, right? And then we in turn can make sure that these students shine. So that's why it's really important to us that we do a good job making sure that the engineering is there, but that it's a good blend of everything that these students need so they can make it a successful program. So you come in day one, it's kind of a madhouse. Parents are coming in, you got to fill these questions. They're kind of a little leery about leaving their students, so you got to make them feel comfortable, and that's that. And we let them come in, you get them together, and then we hit the ground running. Starts with, right into the program, competitions, just different things. And we want them to get a real scope of what's happening. We start at 8, and then it goes to, 9, 10 o'clock at night when they're getting settled and doing those kinds of things. And then we move right into the program immediately once we start in the afternoon. The next day, they're off and running, because at the end of the 3 weeks, we have to have a completed project. They have to have a full understanding. They have to build something that will solve this problem, and then they have to present it at the end, right? So they have to understand the context, the content of the programming. They have to understand the engineering, and then they have to be able to explain and defend everything that they've learned over these 3 weeks. So we're asking a lot of them, but it's because we know that they can do it. I always say to the parents, we're going to send you back somebody that's just a little bit different, and it's going to be positive. But that's just what we're trying to do, just engineer lives one at a time.
We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Cohen. I'm the site director for SMASH at UC Berkeley. I'm passionate about changing the stereotype image of STEM, and I am proof that STEM comes in all colors.
Like us on Facebook. For more information on the color of STEM, go to our website, www.thecolorofstem.com.
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
Hi, my name is William Hill, and I'm a software engineer at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics comes in all colors.
Like us on Facebook. For more information on the color of STEM, go to our website, www.thecolorofstem.com.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. The Color of STEM continues.
Our STEM Chasers team attended the Makers Faire Festival in Washington, D.C. at the University of the District of Columbia and caught up with rapper, actor, record producer, and television personality Nick Cannon and Megan Smith, the technology officer of United States and a former vice president at Google.
What I love about the Maker Faire experience is it's much more like going in the art room, going into the gym, going into, music. You come in and you do it. And that's how math and science needs to be. The best teachers in the country are flipping their classrooms into project-based, and they're still hitting all the requirements, that each of the states are setting, but they in their school boards, but they're doing it in this way, like much more like the music teacher, for math festivals and play. Because otherwise, if we teach it in that other way, that's an old industrial way, it's very boring. And it's also incredibly intimidating. And so it needs to be much more fun. And children need to know 4 things. What's this for? What's the purpose of this algorithm, this math, this thing? Oh, it can save lives in this way. Sort routines, what kinds of things? Do people like me do this? Yes. You always have, for the history of the planet, right? Yes. So let's know the stories. Let's make sure, children's textbooks only, the history textbooks are 11% women. Let's fix that. Let's see our women or people of color who've been the inventors in tech with the people who, field the whole team in the textbook. We need to be encouraged. And we've got a lot of unconscious bias. Nobody means to be doing it, but even on children's TV, it's 15-to-1 boy programmers to girl programmers that our Hollywood colleagues are casting or animating, and they don't mean to do that. It's in the unconscious, and so we have to get past that. And so, and then you have to actually do it. Who do we see on TV? Who do we hear about historically who's made all these things? Our heroes. And the truth is, everybody's been part of it. Many people of color have invented extraordinary things. I was lucky to be with the patent team when they were awarding the patents, sort of our hero patents, our Hall of Fame patents, and they were doing some historic figures. Charles Drew, amazing American who figured out how to really allow for blood, separate blood platelets and really save lives by being able to donate blood in the way that he did and invented. There's so many, there's millions of people like that, and we need to know about them. The President gave Katherine Johnson the Medal of Freedom. STEM has always been all of us the whole time, men and women, everybody, all ages, inventors everywhere. And then, how do we make sure that we have the experiences here? And then for all our parents and our teachers, just know you have these biases. Even you'll hear someone always, no one ever graduates from high school and says, reading, it wasn't my thing. But they say math, I'm not a math person. Don't say that. Just say, I'm not a math person yet, but I'm working on it, and let your kid hear you. And then go play, make playful math, come to this kind of stuff. Don't make it so intimidating and boring, let's make it fun. We have to stop treating it like there's the math people and the not math people. You're the art people. Everybody's everybody. The universe doesn't separate the subjects.
You know what? It's actually a dream come true to be the Chief Creative Officer of Radio Shack here at the Maker Faire in DC, because as a kid, that's, I always just wanted to be creative and make things and be a part of something, and, growing up and not having, and then being able to get to a point where now I can inspire and give is truly a blessing. It's always been a part of us. Myself being a musician and even a creator of content and stuff, you have to have that background. And, even when they talk about all of the jobs in the near future, 80% of them are going to involve STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math. So as much as we want to say, tech is an idea or a process that's separate from the everyday life, it really isn't. It's embedded in everything that we do. I think it's unfortunate sometimes where in our community, sometimes we may want to focus on, hey, put a basketball or football in a kid's hand opposed to, the proper curriculum or what we have here with a lot of the STEM technology. And I feel like we can excel in anything, you know what I mean? When we think about, mathematics and all of those things was created in Africa. We know what we're doing. I often tell people, you put whatever you put in front of us, we're gonna dominate and we're gonna actually step out and show the kingship within it. I mean, I have 2 5-year-olds now, and the things that they can do on a tablet and a smartphone is mind-boggling to me sometimes. So the earlier that you put something into a child's hand, the earlier they can master it. And I believe that when people speak of genius and uber talent, it always, the common denominator is that the amount of time they put into it and how young they started when they started whatever that is. So I believe when it comes to something like STEM or STEAM, just infuse that as early as possible and light that fire as early as you can, and you'll just watch it flourish.
We'll be back in a moment.
Follow us on Twitter. What's next?
Here at The Color of STEM, we celebrate STEM in all colors. Come hang out with us.
Join us and our partner, the USA Science and Engineering Festival in Washington, D.C., April 2018, as we celebrate science in our nation's capital. For more information, go to www.usasciencefestival.org or www.thecolorofstem.com. The Color of STEM is powered by iSTEM, cultivating ideas into solutions, the Emerging Technology Consortium, and the ARL Network. The Color of STEM is more than television. It's a movement.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. The Color of STEM continues.
Michelle Howard is a United States Navy admiral who currently serves as the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Europe, while she concurrently serves as the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Africa and commander of Allied Joint Force Command Naples. She has also been honored at the Women of Color STEM Conference.
4-star Admiral Michelle Howard is a pioneer in the U.S. Armed Forces who broke barriers by becoming the first African-American woman to command a Navy ship and the first female and the first African-American to achieve the rank of Admiral and hold the post of Vice Chief of Naval Operations. In addition, this high-ranking official found herself amid a military engagement that was dramatized in a film starring Tom Hanks.
I had command of Task Force 151, which was the counter-piracy effort off the coast of Somalia in 2009. And then a few days after taking the job, Captain Phillips was kidnapped by Somali pirates. So it was my job to synchronize all those assets, the ships, the intelligence coming in, the intelligence platforms, the P3s providing us support, the Special Operating Forces, and get them synchronized and get the mission set up so that he could be rescued.
Thanks, guys. Yep. Thank you very much. You're real.
The daughter of an Air Force Master Sergeant, Admiral Howard first became interested in the military at age 12. She was inspired by a documentary that led her to pursue an education at the U.S. Naval Academy.
Initially, when I started, the whole gender integration of women into the service academies was pretty challenging. So I had a great set of roommates for life. That's how we've now started to talk to each other, and we're still in contact. And so having other folks who could support me as we worked our way through those 4 years was pretty important. I tell people I think I can call myself a trailblazer because I actually got an award once that said trailblazer. There are some additional burdens that come because it's just associated with being the first that no one thinks about. And then you just have to work your way through whatever those barriers and burdens are, whether it's getting the proper uniform items or working to make sure that you're treated the same as everybody else.
Admiral Howard has experienced firsthand the dramatic changes brought about by the Civil Rights Movement.
I first became aware that I was a person of color when I was 5. I got yelled at on a playground, and they used the N-word, and I wasn't even sure what it meant. And I came home crying, and my dad picked me up and said, "You need to toughen up. This is the world you live in, and it's not going to get easier." The Navy in the late 60s and early 70s was going through its own race riots. I don't know if people remember, they had the sit-ins on the carriers. Admiral Zumwalt became CNO and took on race and gender as an issue, as CNO, and made it one of the things he had to understand and figure out. And I would say the foundation was set by Admiral Zumwalt. Over the years, the Navy has changed and moved from just understanding equal opportunity and the law and what our obligations are as an organization to diversity and understanding the benefits to an organization when it reflects all of America and what it says about the organization when every person, regardless of their race, religion, creed, color, or gender, every person has an opportunity to grow up to be a Master Chief or an Admiral.
So help me God.
Admiral Howard believes that the impact of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will echo throughout society for years to come.
I would simply like to say that I think this has been one of the great days of America.
Anyone who's ever spoken about justice for people, those messages are always valid. And in particular for this nation, the very core of this nation is based on a constitution that talks about equal rights for everyone. It took a while for our Constitution to become a living, breathing document that incorporated all of the people through amendments that gave us states' rights, regardless of race, creed, or color, that gave us voting rights, whether or not we were women. And as that Constitution has changed and become more inclusive, it's become a more powerful document. And so justice, this very thought that we have a right to life, liberty, and prosperity as much as any other human being, he was a man who represented justice. But what we can all take away from that as leaders is that we have to dream and we have to have visions that are bigger than ourselves. We have to create these goals of goodness for ourselves in order to have something to go after and achieve.
That's The Color of STEM for today. Keep watching The Color of STEM, where we show you that STEM makes a difference, and so can you. See you next time, and think about STEM. I'm Allison Seymour.
For more information on The Color of STEM, go to our website, www.thecolorofstem.com.